It was a cold, gray morning, the kind that carried silence heavy enough to echo memories of the past. The American flag fluttered low in the distance, its fabric trembling under the slow sigh of the wind. Hundreds gathered outside Arlington National Cemetery that day, soldiers, generals, and families of the fallen, to say goodbye to a man who'd led thousands into battle, General Marcus L. Harding. Among the crowd stood Daniel Cole, a single dad and a decorated veteran, though you wouldn't guess it from his worn-out jacket or the faint limp in his step. He held the hand of his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, who clutched a small bouquet of wildflowers, the only thing they could afford. "Daddy, will he see the flowers from heaven?" she whispered. Daniel smiled softly, kneeling to her level. "He will, sweetheart." The general always noticed the little things. But as they approached the cemetery gates, 2 uniformed guards blocked their path. "Sir, this area is restricted," one barked, his tone sharp and dismissive. "Family and active personnel only." Daniel reached into his pocket and pulled out a worn invitation, personally signed by the late general weeks before his passing. "I was invited," Daniel said quietly. "General Harding was my commanding officer in Afghanistan. We served together." The guard barely glanced at the paper. "These could be fake." "Step back, sir." Lily looked up, confused. "Daddy, why won't they let us in?" Daniel swallowed hard. "It's okay, Lily. They're just doing their job." But inside, he felt that old ache again, the same one he'd carried since returning home from war. The world that once called him a hero now looked at him as just another forgotten man. The guards muttered something under their breath about wannabe vets, and Daniel turned to leave quietly. But before he could take a step, a deep voice thundered from behind them. "Stand down, Sergeant." Everyone turned. Marching toward them was a tall, imposing figure in full-dress uniform, General Robert McMillan, one of the few living 4-star generals in the country. His medals gleamed like fire under the overcast sky. The guards immediately saluted. McMillan's eyes fell on Daniel. He froze for a moment, then his stern expression softened. "Cole, Daniel Cole." Daniel straightened, saluting instinctively. "Yes, sir." McMillan stepped forward, his voice trembling slightly. "You're the man who carried Harding through that ambush in Kandahar, the man who refused evacuation until every soldier was out." The crowd went silent. The guards' faces drained of color. McMillan placed a firm hand on Daniel's shoulder. "The general spoke about you in his final days. He said you were his greatest soldier, and his closest friend." Daniel blinked, holding back tears. "I didn't think he remembered me, sir." McMillan looked down at Lily and smiled. "He did. Every single day. He told me about the time you shared your rations so your men wouldn't go hungry, and how you wrote letters for the ones who couldn't. You were family to him." The general turned to the guards. "Let this man through. Not as a guest, but as a brother in arms." The gates opened, and the crowd respectfully made way as Daniel and Lily walked forward. Inside, Daniel laid the wildflowers beside the casket draped in the flag. Lily whispered, "Thank you for watching over my dad." A few soldiers nearby wiped their eyes. Cameras captured the moment. A humble man, overlooked by the system, standing beside the nation's heroes. But for Daniel, none of that mattered. He was there not for recognition, but for respect, the kind that only those who've bled together can understand. After the service, General McMillan approached him once more. "Daniel, Harding left something for you." He handed over a small, folded letter. Inside were the words, written in the late general's hand. "Greater than, if you're reading this, brother, it means I've gone ahead. But know this, I never forgot the man who carried my spirit when I could no longer carry my own. You taught me what honor really means. Take care of that little girl of yours. She's your medal now." Daniel's hands trembled as he read. Tears streamed down his face, but for the first time in years, they weren't from pain. They were from pride. As he and Lily walked back down the hill, people began to stand, soldiers, officers, and even the guards who had once doubted him. They saluted. Not because of the medals Daniel wore, but because of the man he was. Lily looked up at him, smiling. "Daddy, the general's proud of you." Daniel nodded, his eyes glistening. "He is, sweetheart. And so am I." The camera zooms in on Daniel's hand holding Lily's as they walk away beneath the waving flag, a symbol of sacrifice, honor, and the quiet strength of forgotten heroes. A voiceover closes softly. "Greater than, never judge a man by what's on his chest, but by what's in his heart." For some heroes don't wear uniforms anymore, they carry their battles in silence.